Somewhere in a large city in Belgium lays this massive former medical center. With its still intact medical equipment and working electricity, this place felt somewhat like an apocalypse just happened. Discover with us what we founded and why this hospital is derelict. We started our explore with the first sunlight. This was to get a nice calm entrance. Fortunately, finding an entrance was surprisingly easy. So we could start exploring this huge building. During our visit, a huge run started on the urban explorers to explore this location. Local explorers also refer this as the Urbex bus, so we were almost certain that we would run into some other explorers. But okay, our plan of exploring was to first head over to the upper floor. From there on we would work our way back to the cellar. After a lot of stairs we were on the highest floor possible, where it immediately became clear where the function was of this floor. The old medical labs.
Hello. Hi.
We're two.
Hi.
Scared me to death.
We have two more.
I heard noises and shit. I can't hide anymore.
There's the laboratory.
Okay.
Alright, nice. Thank you. Just 15 minutes in and we already came across the first other explorers. The German explorers were quite friendly though, and gave us directions to the coolest spot on this level. But well, right now we are at the old medical labs of the hospital. In this space all kinds of things were tested, from medicine to research for newly founded diseases. For example, the quite relevant coronavirus is researched in similar labs like these at other hospitals. When looking around, there unfortunately wasn't that much traces to this period of operating. We just found some leftovers of medicine and some test equipment. What also catched our eye was this old canteen and some bedrooms, which was to our surprise still intact since the day this hospital closed. But okay, let's continue to look for more cool spots in the hospital. On our way through the dwindling corridors we came across some of the patient rooms, which to our surprise was still connected to the power grid.
Eens kijken. Dat is extra spooky.
Which really gave off an unusual atmosphere. At the end of the hallway we also came across this room. The picture on the wall quickly made it clear what the function was of this section. With us standing in this room where many lives started, I think it's a good moment to look at the birth of this hospital. This building we are in now got constructed in 1954 and was finished in 1958. In its time it was actually part of one of the most modern hospitals in all of Belgium. Throughout the years this hospital was expanded heavily to keep it up to date, with for example a brand new entrance hall and a couple of new wings. In 2018 this medical center closed for good. The reason for this was that it was just way too outdated for the modern medical standards, so a new hospital was built somewhere else in this area. Today not a lot remains from the 60 years of operation. What did refer to this period were some short messages from the old medical staff. We leave the old bricks behind and take our memories with us to make a new beginning with new bricks. It says on this wall, the whole hospital was filled with these kinds of messages, which really gave these rather boring corridors a sense of life. But okay, let's continue our explore. After we saw this level of the building, we decided to head down one more level. Here we came across even more long grey halls, with mostly empty rooms. What we also noticed is that in this part of the building there wasn't any more electricity, so what seemed was that only certain parts were powered for some reason. After a lot of rooms we finally came across something interesting, the old dentist rooms. This one even contained some of the equipment like some drills and other tools. The section we are in now also connected another interesting part, the intensive care department. In this room many patients with severe injuries or problems were saved. It's also one which was still full with all kinds of traces. At the end of this department another one was connected, which I personally was most excited about, the operating theaters. In total there were 6 theaters. Unfortunately most of them were missing some iconic parts, like the chair. Luckily the operating lights were still present, which made it nevertheless still a really cool operating theater. After this find we decided to head down to the first level, where we wanted to see if there were more cool highlights. Before we got to this we found this unexpected highlight. This here was the old X-ray room, which was strangely still intact. It really gave the impression that it could be started up and be operative in just less than a day. The final section of our explore was of course the cellar of the building, where we found our last cool highlight, the morgue. With this dark find we also conclude our explore of this abandoned hospital. Right now hospitals like these are one of the most important places in our society. This is of course due to the corona crisis. What I want to say with this is good luck to everyone working in these places. And to everyone else, keep yourself safe. Until next week.